The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Jackson Pinky the Brain Pinkowski, our paid / organic traffic / in-house Bucks fan. We didn't really want that part, but it came with the package. So what are you going to do? Today, we are talking about the top 3 mistakes you can make doing organic traffic, right? A lot of times Jackson comes on and he does all of our next level kind of day-to-day paid traffic. And that's fun. It's scalable. There's lots of benefits to it. But a lot of guys and gals out there are like, I don't have money. I don't want to do it. I'm scared. I don't want Facebook to tell me what to do, blah, 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 blah. So we want to jump into organic, and we can tell you what to do, but I feel like Jackson sees these big glaring mistakes that cost money and time and frustration and cause people to go, I tried this and it didn't work, and then just really miss out on opportunities. So let's start there. When we talk organic, just let's define that before we go forward, Jackson. Like when we talk organic traffic, what does that make you think?
So in my mind, organic is anything that you don't have to pay out of pocket for. Pretty much the only thing organic traffic might cost you would be like your time, or doing anything organic wise would be your time. And so, of course, time is money, yes, but you're not paying a platform to advertise, whether it be Google, Facebook, Angie's List, Home Advisor, anything like that. This is just solely you're putting out content or things that you put together, whether it be on like your Facebook profile, your Google profile, anything like that. But you're not paying out of pocket. And that's probably the biggest difference between organic versus paid advertising.
And that's part of the reason I like starting with organic, because I'm constantly telling people there's no such thing as free traffic. You will pay for it. You can pay with your time, you can pay with your money, which is oftentimes other people's time, right? Even Facebook, you're paying for their time to set up a platform that generates all these eyeballs that you can take advantage of. So it's either time or money, and really even the money just buys typically other people's time. So that's a good start. The one distinction I want to make is with and by the way, I like typically newer owners can start with stuff that costs less money and more time. And as you get more sophisticated and better at marketing and you've got more revenue and other things to do, we like seeing you shift to things that take more money and less time. Because you can, as you grow your business, it's fairly easy to get more money, but no matter how big your business is, you will not get time. It'll feel like you have less. So that said, let's make a distinction. We're not going to talk about it today, but organic marketing could be door knocking, telemarketing, holding events, going door to door, going to trade shows, just talking to other human beings. And again, when you're just starting, I think it's an excellent way to get your first 5 or 10 clients. It is not a great way to depend on scaling a business. So again, when we talk about paid or organic, offline, online, it's not so much right, wrong, best, worst. It's kind of the best tool for you at your stage of business. Any thoughts on that before we go forward, Jackson?
And that leads like perfectly into my first big mistake that I see people doing is just.
I don't know these, by the way. So I'm going to discover them along with Jackson. So I'm glad that my unintentional lead-in was good. What's big mistake number 1, buddy?
Big mistake number 1 is honestly not doing it. Or it's because it is the act of typically it's your time, right? You as the business owner or something like that. It's the act of not doing is the biggest mistake that a lot of people do, whether that be, in-person door knocking, holding events, going to talk to people, putting up signs, putting out flyers, stuff like that, putting stuff online, just content posts, whatever that may be, whether it be in the actual physical landscape or the digital landscape. Biggest mistake is people not doing it. And then thinking, I need to instantly jump into paid or it's just going to come to me. I don't need to do anything. If I just make a business, it's going to show up on Google. It's going to show up on Facebook or people in the neighborhood will know about it. You have to actually go out and do stuff and setting up a game plan, ahead of time and understanding like we're coming up into a new month right now. So thinking, what am I going to do for this month and how can I get all this done ahead of time. So my time investment is actually less, but the results at the end are better. That gets you on the right track of actually doing something versus just kind of sitting on your hands and expecting it to come to you.
So all of Cleaning Nation, that's like, yes, that's me. I've made mistake number one. I don't do it. The next, I would think, obvious question would be, well, what is it, right? When you're like, they should do stuff. What stuff? Give me, and again, obviously we'd want to sit down with you and kind of make a customized plan, but just give for a general idea of, if I'm like, what's the stuff I could or should be doing? Hit me with the top 3 or 4 or 5. You're like, here's that I could do today, right? That I'm not, that I'm like, hopefully it won't be too overwhelming or scary. I got to be super good at marketing. What's the it you would suggest a newbie?
Yeah. So I might be biased because I'm a digital guy. I've never done like door-to-door sales or anything like that. So Mike might know more on that kind of stuff. And
let's focus, since we got you, let's focus just on online for now. I just want to acknowledge offline stuff exists. Just because we're talking about online today doesn't mean that's the universe. That's just today's universe. So go ahead.
So with digital, what you can do today, like as you're listening to this, as soon as you're done with this, what you can do is go into your Facebook that I'm sure you're on, you have bookmarked, you have it on your phone all the time, and go and find groups in your neighborhoods, in your areas, in those places you want to service, because there's a group for everything. As they say, there's a butt for every saddle. So there's a page, there's a group, there's a community for people who you want to work with, people who you want to service, homes, businesses, whatever that may be. Go and interact with them as your business. Go and interact with these people, talk about, find what their pain points are, get your name out there. And you don't have to go overboard. You don't need to be sharing commercial quality things out with them. Just start that interaction process on there. And that's really just going to take 30 minutes to an hour of your time to start these communications and start getting these lines open with people, and increase your organic traffic, because now they know you're there. They know you exist in the community. They know you want to work with the community. That's probably the easiest way you can get started with them, is going out, finding these different groups for people, homeowners, business owners in your neighborhood, and talking with them.
And that's where knowing your niche really makes a difference. So obviously for cleaners, it's going to be a local group, right? Like if you're in, I'm in Phoenix. If you're in Phoenix, some guy in Seattle is not really going to be able to help grow your business. But if you don't know who your client is, like what groups, like there are no groups of like people who want their home cleaned in Phoenix on Facebook. I mean, maybe there is, but I'm guessing most of you aren't going to have that. So you have to know, if you're residential and you want moms who want more time, or working moms, I guarantee you there's a working moms Phoenix group. If you are commercial and it's car dealers, I promise you there's a car dealer group, right? So we kind of always goes back to knowing your client. So give us two. So that's a great one. Just find, and you can even go in next door, for crying out loud. That's more for residential than commercial, but just find where your people are congregating online and just start making friends, like talk to people, be a human being. All right. So it's one, give us 2 quick more things that they could do in the stuff so they can avoid the number one mistake of not doing it. And then we'll hit mistakes 2 and 3.
Beyond that, is probably something you can already do is having content to put out there, just posting something maybe once a week. And, this is kind of pain point 2, or something other people don't do. They can all play with each other, but people think, oh, I don't have the time to put stuff together. I don't have the time to make like a Facebook post or anything like that. But if you're cleaning in homes or businesses, or you have people that are cleaning in homes and business, that's your content, is showing what the work can do. And you don't have to, you're already there, you're already doing it. Why not take advantage of it and take some pictures, take a video, stuff like that, make it fun, and use that as your organic posts and stuff you can actually do, because you're still going to do the work, right? So there's no reason to double up your work and have to make content on top of that. Shoot content while you're working. There are videos online of people cleaning carpets that get millions of views. It's just a before and after of a brown carpet, and then becomes white again. That's huge. And if you're doing it already, why not leverage that and utilize that in some of your organic posts that you do, like on Facebook or Google.
Yeah. And that goes for conversations you have with your clients as well, right? If you're talking to a client about, well, what did you like? What don't you like? How is it working with us? What's going on? That could be content. It can even be a little 30 or 60 second clip. All right. So first mistake is do it, do something. Don't just ignore it. And again, by the way, we're doing the best we can on podcasts. Obviously in our program, we have systems and processes to kind of help put some framework around this, but we're going to do the best we can in 20 or 30 minutes. And the big thing is have a framework, have a plan, have a system. Don't just go pell mell. Cause a lot of times people will be like, oh, and they'll spend 17 hours on Facebook and just not really do anything effective, and then wake up and go, what happened? And it's frustrating. So then they'll spend no time on Facebook, and that doesn't work either. So it's important to work within a framework. So number one mistake is do nothing. The something you could do is get into groups and share content. The content you could share would be just stuff that you're already doing that you just kind of document, as opposed to, you don't have to create content. You can just document kind of your life as it is. What's the third thing they could do online to not make the number one mistake of doing nothing?
Oh, the third thing they could do online. That's a tough one. I had it in my head, and I think it just went out like a whiff.
Jackson, by the way, for those of you joining us on video, is in Sacktown, Sacramento, for his bachelorette, his wife's, the nuptial. So let's be fair, his brain's a little, not quite here. So I guess I'll have to carry a bit of the load. Maybe he's thinking he's got too much time on Giannis and getting married. So we'll take the remaining 12% of his brain power. Did it hit you?
No, he just made me think that I'm going to listen to this podcast in the future, and it's probably maybe the last podcast I'll record as an unmarried man.
Yes, this is all right. So here, Jackson, what advice do you have for future old married Jackson? What does young unmarried Jackson have to say to him?
I honestly just appreciate the moment, and understand that you probably spend more time thinking about stuff that you really shouldn't be thinking so much about. Just let it come and go. Don't be so preoccupied with things. That's my advice to future old Jackson when you're listening back on this.
Young Jackson sounds smart. Old Jackson, if you're listening, pay attention to this dude. He's got a couple of brain cells to rub together. Okay, let's move on to the second. You'll have to just get those two. Do those two, and if you've got those done, you reach out to us and we'll give you the third, because Jackson's forgotten it, but he'll remember. So what's the second kind of big mistake that's going to cost time, money, frustration, screw people up on online organic lead gen?
So the second big thing, and it does, all these play together. So the first will play with the second and then play with the third. But the second big thing I would say is people, I guess, overthink. Overthink might be the best one, or tend, kind of, you touched on it, is spending, so much time and energy thinking that this has to be this big, robust thing that they're doing with their organic outreach. Because the examples people leverage with businesses is oh, let's see what the big boys are doing. Let's go see what Google or Ben & Jerry's or big commercial cleaners, big residential cleaners, what are they doing for their organic content? And that kind of stuff is very excessive, and they probably have tons of teams building that out. And you might not be at that stage yet, but you don't need to do that. You don't need to commit 40 hours just to developing an organic content plan, because if you do that, it's gonna you're taking 10 steps back as opposed to taking 10 steps forward. So the biggest mistake is overcommitting your time and energy into this, when in actuality what these people in these businesses want is, yes, they want a cleaning partner, but they want a person on the other side. And all the success I've seen with the businesses I've been working with on the organic side is having that personable nature that isn't a polished corporate feel, because they didn't overcommit their time into these organic strategies, really.
Yeah, in our training, we call it a crappy version 1.0, right? So many people want to, they're perfectionists, right? And I think that's a good thing, but what it really means is they're putting it off, right? So as opposed to just, I'm going to create a piece of content, maybe to be good, maybe it won't. But I promise you, if you just spend 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes creating a piece of content, you do that 10, 20 times, that'd take you an hour or two. You're going to be far better at creating content just by getting feedback or how you feel. You're just going to learn so much more by doing something than doing nothing. And just like Jackson said, people really want real, right? Hopefully with this podcast, a lot of you guys listen, and a lot of the feedback as I get is they feel like that's just Mike, right? And do I appeal to everybody? No, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are turned off, right? Maybe more than that are turned on. What do I know? But the people that connect are like, that's Mike, that's the dude. And when we when you come into the program or we meet in person, you're like, that's the same dude that's on the podcast. So I guess I could spend a bunch of time trying to figure out exactly what you want and present it in a way that's super slick and make it whatever. But then what do we do when we actually have a conversation or talk? So yeah, I would agree 1,000% to just focus on getting something done and having it be representative of you, even if it's not perfect. Done and okay is better than some picture perfect that's never going to happen. Am I picking up what you're laying down?
Yeah, exactly. It's you spend so much time trying to build an identity for each potential person that might come into your business. You're just going to lose your own identity in the process. And what then ends up happening is you form poor working relationships, poor business relationships that are founded on, like this false premise of who your company is, as opposed to you following your core values as a company, matching it up with your organic content and having the people come to you because they like who you are, as opposed to you trying to become what they want at every point. Because I was just talking to someone last week and they had a video piece out there, and it was just like this 30-second video piece of the business owner talking directly to the potential customer that would fill out this lead form to schedule a call. And when he got on the call with someone who filled it out, they said, I watched that video and it was like, you're speaking directly to me. And it was a person. And I love that. And we just haven't seen that with other businesses that come through, because they have these nondescript forms or this nondescript, just cookie cutter kind of placement on things. And it makes a whole lot of difference when you're building your whole presence off of your core values and you as a company and you as a business owner, as opposed to trying to mesh with and match every single potential business you can work with.
And I think, without getting political, I think that's the problem with this woke mob that they got going on out there. They're eating their own. So like yesterday's, okay, we're all cool with this, is today's, it's something different, and tomorrow it'll be different still. So if you spend all your time trying, what do they want? What am I allowed to say? Am I pro this or anti that? Or am I allowed to be a fan of this president and hate that president? Or how am I supposed to be? Man, you can spend your life trying to like figure that crap out and be miserable, as opposed to just, this is what we stand for and this is who we are. And some of y'all are going to like it, and that's fine. We'll get along great. And some of you aren't going to like it. That's okay too. You might be a fit for a different person. So I think so many of us don't want to ruffle any feathers or don't take a stand. And I'm telling you, I'd rather, as opposed to being vanilla, they don't remember you at all. I remember like, oh, that's the guy that loves Trump or hates Trump or loves this or hates that, or and I hate him or I love him, but it's something, as opposed to just, he's another cleaner, what's the cheapest price? So, we're not going to like intentionally look to antagonize people, but man, at the end of the day, you got to be you, right? Like we'll say stuff, I'm sure it turns people off, and it's like, that's okay. We may not be a fit. So it's really an opportunity. I think the whole world, corporate all the way down, is trying to be this like vanilla. What's the path? What do we all agree on? What do we have to say, whether it comes to masks or COVID or whatever? It doesn't matter what the thing is. And we don't even talk a lot about that here, because I don't think it matters when I'm trying to coach you. But as it does come into business and that, I have strong, I'll tell you guys, like, I don't know that giving the government a bunch of money for taxes is super helpful. Like, obviously I think we should pay our taxes, but there's some other things, and some of you don't like that and some of you do, but I talk about it when it intersects with what we're talking about. So all that to say, be you, even if that's going to turn some people off. There's a huge opportunity. Everyone's like, what's the step? What's the sheet of music we all have to read on? If you go a different way, people are just so attracted. It's not out there. Everyone's trying to be fake, and just being you will get you a long way. Like or hate Trump, very few people had no thoughts, right? There's people that are really into him and people that are really out of him. And from a marketing standpoint, powerful. So even if you hate the guy, go, what can I learn? And just being that, where you stand. And the guys that didn't like him probably were never going to like him. So why fake it? And the guys that loved him are like, oh my God, thank you. Somebody stands up and says what I believe. So it's okay if you don't believe that, but at least go with the fact that he had a position and he really wasn't interested in what other people thought. And again, he might've gone a little too far to antagonize people. We don't want to do that, but just be you. Like, take that swing. I'd rather go out of business being me than go out of business trying to fake being some other thing. And then again, when the winds change, now what? And then the thing I was supposed to be for before, now I got to be against, and vice versa. Who has the time to keep up? All right, enough of that. But I really want y'all to be you. So number one, don't do anything. Number two, try and fake it or figure it out or be perfect, as opposed to just like, here I am, here's a little bit of me. And it's scary, right? Because if you just go with what everyone else is doing, if someone doesn't like you, like, hey, I was just reading the script, I'm sorry you don't like the script. But when you're you, people could not like you personally, and that stings a little. but that's how you get a brand. All right. What's the third big mistake people can avoid?
Consistency or lack thereof. If we want somebody to avoid something, is you got to be consistent with this. So step one, you're doing something now. Step two, you're being yourself. You're not spending hours putting out fake junk. And step three, you're being consistent with it all. That is extremely critical. It's critical on a couple of different levels. One, it builds good habits for you as a business owner, as a person, to get consistently doing this. And then on the technical side, it's rewarded by pretty much every single platform if you're consistent. And when I say consistent, it doesn't mean every single day if you don't want to. That means, you could do it once a week. You could do it 3 times a week. Just being consistent with what you're doing in terms of, like, I'm messaging people on my Facebook groups in my neighborhoods. I'm putting out a video of a testimonial on my Facebook page. I'm writing about cleaning tips on my Google profile or my Facebook page or anything on my Instagram. As long as you're consistent with that, it's rewarded not only for you yourself, but also within the platform. And again, if you have that good baseline of, I'm not overcommitting, I'm not putting in 40, 50, 60 hours into developing this plan, but instead, at the end of the month, I'm going to spend half my day laying out my plan for September, laying out my plan for October. So I know, I'm going to do 2 posts each week, and one's going to be a testimonial, the other's going to be a cleaning tip. There's your consistency. And then you just have it set up so where you're not overcommitting your time, you're being consistent with it, and you're doing something. All those pieces fall into line, and now you've got a really, really superb organic strategy that rivals most other companies, because they'll have teams who build out these plans, and you're able to do it in half a day, and you're able to do it really well, and it's going to accomplish the goals you want.
That is so true, really, in business. So many of us get fired up and we're like, I'm going to start a blog, and for 3.5 days we were all about blogging. We're going to blog this and blog that, and we're super into it. And then for a week or two, we're kind of into the blog, and then we've forgotten about the blog, and it's over. This podcast is a perfect example of, we do our best. We try and put out great content, and some of it's fantastic and some of it's okay. What are you going to do? But we've got over 700 episodes, and every week since we started, it's been either 2 or 3 episodes a week, every week, no matter what, never missed a release date. And I promise you, not that we want to be average content. I think we're top. Certainly, if you're trying to build a cleaning company, I think it's the best in the world. But I'll still take consistent average content over sporadic, really good content that people don't know, because they can't really build a relationship with you. So the cool thing is, it's an opportunity, because it's one of those. I'm so glad you said it, Jackson, because it's one of those boring things. These are all boring stuff, like do something, don't do nothing. Everybody talks about it, nobody does it. And then be yourself and just put out real content that may not be super polished or super this, but just freaking do it, and then do it consistently. That's just like the blocking and tackling and the boring crap that wins every day, all day, as opposed to the sexy stuff of, like, I got on a TV show and, the news guy interviewed me and I got this one big thing, and then nothing for 6 months. I'll take a consistent, and the cool thing is, we're talking about be you, right? I like to talk, so the podcast works great. You might love video. That might be good. Blog might be good. There's a lot of different ways. Just interviewing other people could be good. Instagram, you could literally just take pictures, for God's sake. So that consistency is going to kill above everything. All right, Jackson, wrap it up. Any other comments, words of wisdom people need?
Yeah, probably this entire thing. You said it really well. Really popular business guy, name of Sam. He's got this really good chart, and he talks about it, how your memory and your success have an inverse relationship, right? Or success, memory, and time. It's all an inverse relationship, basically. And I'm probably butchering it, but really, when you start out, your memory is really good and you remember it being really hard and you're getting no results out of it. But as time goes on, the time committed to it starts to go down and your results start to go up. And then by the time you reach the end, you very rarely remember how hard it was at the beginning, but now you're starting to see the results. And that's basically what plays into this organic, into paid, into anything you do. So just remember, it's always really hard to start out, and it's really easy to come up with excuses to break that consistency, to not do anything, to overcommit your time. But as you start to progress and it becomes second nature, just building up those habits to the point where you're getting good results, and you can't remember a time where it wasn't fun, or you didn't have a plan, or what it was like to not be doing it. So that's just my final thoughts there.
So true. Having coached literally thousands of owners of cleaning companies, they focus on how hard it is at the beginning, and they have to put in a map because they don't have the systems and processes and mindset that they need. They have to put in massive amounts of work just to get average to poor results. It's just, that's how it is. The old saying about the plumber coming in, spends 5 minutes, like that's $180. And people are like, I'm not going to pay $180 for 5 minutes. And you're not paying for the 5 minutes. You're paying for the 20 years it took me to figure out what to do in those 5 minutes. Right. So with owners, it's the same way. At the beginning, we have to do so much freaking work to get a very small result, because that's the systems and processes and mindset that we have. As we grow our systems and processes and mindset, we can leverage so much more. We put in so much less time and get just the lever gets so much bigger. So I guess the two kind of thoughts I'll end with are: one, don't give up, right? When you're in that time where you're still trying to figure it out, that's when you lose, when you give up, right? If you're like, I just keep going, then that was just another step back, but you only fail when you give up. And then second, and again, we'll go shameless promotion here. That's what we do, right? We have systems and processes and mindset helping you figure out how to do that. So you really have three options. One, give up, which I guess if you're going to give up, now's the time. Better now than later. Don't beat yourself up for 2 or 3 years and then give up. Give up now. Two, you can do what I did, which I do not recommend. Take 20 years, figure it out, bang your head against the wall, spend time, money, resources, efforts, relationships, burn all that crap to figure it out on your own. And, maybe you're smarter than me and get it done in 10 years as opposed to 20, but holy crap, that's painful. Or three, find someone that's got systems, processes, and mindset that you need, and then get them to help you do that. So if you're like, yeah, I would like that. growingcleaningcompany.com has massive amounts of resource, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of coaching and help. And there's a 15,000 person Facebook group, all that sort of stuff. I would start at the absolutely free on-demand webinar. It's the best. Kind of made it like if I had 40 minutes to tell someone how to get from where they're at to where they want to be in the shortest amount of time, that's where I'd start, because it can be overwhelming, right? With the Facebook group and the podcast and the videos, there's just hundreds and hundreds. You could be like, oh my God, where do I start? The on-demand webinar is where you do it. growingcleaningcompany.com. Check it out now. I will see you there. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share with a friend, share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431. That's 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.